Hello, hello, my desmadre souls. Welcome to Coming Home to Self No Bypassing, where we have honest conversations with our inner voice aloud. This is a space for unfiltered reflections, spiritual growth, messy truths, and yes, a little bit of humor along the way because we are here for the human experience, not to achieve perfection. I am Asa Luna, and this is our journey home. So, the desmadre of the day is about me telling you how I'm teaching my nervous system to be okay in the calm state. um, so I used to work a lot. I had never been without work um this long. It's been since October 31st, and I was used to always being on a rush and always trying to go to the next task or the next thing. Always go, 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 go. And it was almost like addicting, chasing that rush, adrenaline rush. That's how it felt. And I feel like right now that I haven't been working, I feel like my nervous system and my brain were like trying to figure it out. Why am I just so still, so calm, so relaxed, not moving? And I felt like I did feel very hopeless. Like I didn't realize that's how I was feeling until I had a meditation conversation with myself. And then I realized that's what it was, is that I just felt like because I'm so calm, my brain, it understood that as a, you're just not gonna do anything else with your life almost. Like, because sometimes you feel like your value goes up as you reach more professional achievements or with your education, and that's how I was feeling. I think like I was feeling more valuable, getting to have a career and having a successful job and having school and having all these things, certifications. And yes, that is good on my personal, not personal, but on my professional, educational kind of side of things. And I think that's what my whole nervous system and my brain got familiar with. That all this hard work and rushing and getting all these certifications, schooling, all this stuff was equal to great value. And now that I'm not doing that, well, at least that's what I thought, that I'm not doing anything, that it felt almost like I'm not achieving anything and I'm just too chill, or almost like, am I a lazy person type of thing? That question keep popping in my brain. But I had a very deep conversation with myself, and then I realized that in reality, while I'm over here thinking I'm not doing anything, in reality, I was doing a lot of things for my personal growth, and even financially, I was fighting the unemployment office and my previous employer because they didn't want to pay my unemployment. So that was one of the things that I realized, that while I thought I was not doing anything, in reality I was still moving. It was just not, I feel like I was chasing. Before, I was like go, 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 immediate, like an immediate reward almost, because of working hard, because of doing this, because of doing that, because I was moving too fast, and then my brain got addicted to like a fast reward or something. And now that I'm still, it's like a different type of reward, because then I realize it's self growth. And I realized that with the core situation, I didn't hire an attorney. So I did it all by myself. Did all the, I gathered all the stuff I needed. I asked people for letters. I did everything on my own, and I show up to the court on my own. Nobody represented me. And I think that's big. That was something I didn't give myself enough credit for, to realize that while I'm thinking over here I didn't do anything, I was doing this. I was doing all the paperwork and calling unemployment constantly. And actually, if you haven't heard the first episode, but that's how this podcast actually became my podcast, because I wanted to do it, but I always felt like it was not the perfect time, or I was just always rushed and always working or didn't have time for creativity pretty much. And this podcast happened. I was actually waiting for hours and with unemployment. And that's how this podcast idea came into my mind. And I started getting all this stuff together. And that was amazing because I would never thought that that was going to be possible to do, especially while I was waiting for unemployment on the phone. And so that's another thing, right? I finally did my podcast. So I won the court. I did my podcast. I've been consistent with the podcast, and also I've been very consistent at the gym. I've been working out a lot, and I feel so much better. And that's another thing too, that my brain was like making me feel some type of way about my body, or like the whole thing. It's just the thing is that right now my whole self feels so uncomfortable. It just feels so uncomfortable. I'm feeling better, but I'm in a very unknown space, and so everything is uncomfortable. And when I realize when my brain, my mind, my body, my whole self is in a uncomfortable state, it's constantly an alert, like whoa, whoa, like they don't know what's happening, because I never been in this kind of state. And I know that your brain and your body, the way they work is like through memory, through past experiences. And so that's why a lot of us get stuck into repetitive situations, like even people would have, including me, I was in very toxic relationships before. And that's also because my brain was always looking for what's familiar, and I was stuck in that little circle, that it was no good. So if you ever ask yourself, why am I always in this situation? That's why. It's because your brain and your mind constantly tries to look for what's familiar, because that's what they're familiar with. And that doesn't mean it's good for you. That just means it's familiar. So it's more predictable. And that's literally the purpose of our mind and our brain, is to keep us safe. And the best way to keep us safe is by putting us in situations, or keeping us in situations that are familiar. So the purpose of our mind and our brain is not about personal growth or possibilities or what can you achieve out there. That's not their purpose. Their purpose is to keep you safe. So then when you're in situations like this, like with me, like I'm in a situation where it's very unknown, never been in this situation before, it's really out of my comfort zone. My brain, my nervous system is like, whoa, whoa, what's happening? Like, are we dying? What is going on? But I realized that even then, I have a baby, so he's 17 months. And so that's not very long too, that I had the baby, and that's a big change as well for my body. And then I was working. So before I got fired in October 31st, I was working a lot of hours. I was working 70 to 80 hours a week, and that's only Monday to Friday. So I was very, very tired. And I realized that I had to tell that to myself, that that's why I need to be kind to myself, and that's why I need to realize that sometimes the reason why my mind is so judgmental is because trying to push me back to a comfort known zone, because that's the only way that they can keep me safe, because the unknown, they don't know what's out there. So therefore they try to push me back into those thoughts of intrusive thoughts of, you can't do that, that's too dangerous, oh no, you don't have the ability to do that, or you don't know that, you don't have the skills, so that all those thoughts, they're just trying to keep you where you at, because that's the safe spot, not because you can grow there, not because it's not possible to grow more or to be something else. It's just to keep us in the safe place. So that being said, I realized that I guess trying to quiet my mind is the best thing I can do for myself right now, because I notice the more I ignore the little voice and the more I actually listen to my true voice, which is my inner voice that comes from my higher self, I notice I'm much more happier. I take chances. I go with the flow. I just do things that my my higher self tells me to do. And if you wonder what is that, what are you talking about, have you ever feel like you're doing something and then an idea pops up and you're very excited about it, but then another intrusive thought is like, no, that's too much work, or no, it's okay. That's the mind, and the one that gives you the happy idea, that's my inner self. So lately I've been listening more to my inner self, and actually now that I've given it more attention and I've been listening to it, I realize it comes to me more often. It talks to me more often. Like before, it was here and there. It was very few times, especially when I was working, that it will come into my mind. But now it's like literally every day. Every day I have it like several times a day. It's talking to me, and I'm taking chances, and I'm feeling like much happier and more connected with myself. So, how I picture myself, the graphic description is that I felt like a lake, like I was just stuck, like I was just still water. I wasn't moving. And the thing is that I was so used to like a huge waterfall, just like rushing and then falling and strong and powerful. And then that's why it was such a big change. But now I realized that when I really look deep, like inside of me, I realized that even though sometimes it looks like you're not growing, you are. And like I said, I won this court. Then now I'm gonna get paid. My husband got a really good job. We were both struggling. I feel very comfortable now with my body. So many intrusive thoughts try to come into my mind, but like I said, I'm only 17 months postpartum. I had also emergency surgery the last day of June that I had the surgery for an appendicitis. And that's another thing. That's only been, this month will be 9 months. And even though they say it's a minor surgery, it messed up with your muscles, and it doesn't help that I just had the baby, so my muscles needed to get stronger on my abs, and now with that surgery also, it weakened my muscles as well. So I have to remind myself that it's okay. It's okay to take um, your time healing, and I'm still doing it. I'm showing up every day. I'm showing up every day to the gym. I'm showing up every day for my podcast, and I'm connecting better with my baby. I am growing. I am finding other things that I like. And I feel like when I was working so much, I didn't have the time to do that. I was always so focused and working, giving my time to another person, so the other company, that I robbed myself from that time. I didn't have time to be artistic or crafty or finding my feminine energy. So right now that I'm calm and I'm not working, it is very uncomfortable. But I realize I've been growing a lot personally. And I was going through postpartum depression really, really bad just until I want to say January. I realized I didn't know what it was. I just knew it was something wrong, but I didn't know what. And I thought it was just the stress of having a baby. But then I realized, thanks to friends and family, that it was postpartum depression. And therefore, I took steps right away because I didn't want to be in the state of mind that I was in. So that was huge too. And I think I knew what I needed. My higher self knew what I needed. And I do think that things happen for a reason, and you are what you're supposed to be. And sometimes you don't understand why you are there, but if you like really step back and then meditate with yourself and really question yourself what really is happening right now in your life, you'll realize real fast what really is that you're working on, or why is it that your higher self placed you there. Or subconsciously, sometimes you place yourself in places where you don't supposed to be at too. So I feel like that's why it's so important to have some type of connection with your higher self, through journaling or through talking to yourself. Like for me, I always say thank you so much for listening to this podcast, but it has been very helpful for me too because I write my ideas all the time. I'm journaling, I'm recording, and then obviously I have to play it back to myself. So it's like I get a message when I'm journaling, then I get a message when I'm talking to the microphone, then I get a message when listening. And it's been very powerful because my son's, I always tell him this, I'm like, my son said something very, very wise. He is a very wise person. He said, when you have an issue, and then you go to therapy, is he said, you already know what you have to work on. They just help you find out what is it that you need to work on. They're not going to give you the answer. They just help you walk it through to talk to yourself and to you understand what is it that you need to work on. And that is very powerful because that is true. I realize that now with the podcast, and I am also seeing a therapist, and she is doing the same thing. She asks me questions. She doesn't give me the answers. She just asks me questions that make me realize, oh, that's what it is. Like the little light bulb turns on, and then these ideas start flowing, and then I'm realizing, oh, there's this trauma and there's this other trauma that I knew. I just didn't realize it was something that I needed to work on. And I was working out today at the gym too, and I realized that like sometimes it clicks. Like when a podcast or a book or an idea pops into my head, or somebody says something, it finally clicks, and then I look back and I, I hear this things that they're telling me before, like change is possible. Let's talk about that. Change is possible, and everybody says that. Yeah, people can change. That people can do that, and we know that. But then somehow we still don't believe it, and I realized that it's because people can tell you all these things, but if it doesn't, your mind and your brain is not familiar with those words, you have to find out how to deliver the message. And sometimes it might be through like someone you don't even know. And the wording of the message really does matter because everybody has different beliefs and everybody has different foundations. So it is our job to do our research, and it is our job to better ourselves and grow our person. That's why it's called personal growth, because nobody can do the job for you. You have to do it on your own. And I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I listen to a lot of just videos about self-help, and I read books and stuff. But I know sometimes they talk about the same thing, but sometimes I I listen to this other person and it doesn't click, and then I listen to this other person and it's talking about the same thing, but the words are different, and it's like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. So um I feel like all these things about growing and learning and bettering yourself is just, it's gonna be different for everybody. It's gonna be definitely work, but when you're in the right path, it's just gonna feel better. It's gonna feel great. And I think that's why that's exciting. That's exciting when you start seeing the changes, when you start seeing the things around you are changing, when you realize that you are changing. Um, then you want more. You want to do more. You want to, you're like for me, I, I am a gym rat. I love the gym, so I always gonna use it as a reference. But just a couple of friends were asking me, well, how do you to enjoy to work out? And I said, well, You want to start from zero, right? So I get it. Sometimes it's waking up early or just getting to the gym or you don't know what to do and then you're scared, embarrassed. I'm like, but you just have to continue showing up. And doesn't matter what people say around you, like it's okay. Like I know that's a big one too, that we care so much about what people say, but at some point we were all there. Even me that I've been going to the gym for so long, I was there once. I'm still there sometimes when I see machines that I don't recognize. I just play around with it and I'm like, oh, okay, this is how you this is how you use it. Or I try new workouts. Like we all we all look ridiculous at some point or not. We don't know. We all here to learn. So if you're embarrassed to go, but then you feel like everybody's gonna watch you, or what if you're doing it wrong? It doesn't matter. You just have to show up, and um, you just have to do it. And once you realize, the thing is to don't get disencouraged, because obviously it's not gonna happen with one day, right? It's not gonna happen with a week. It's gonna happen uh, if you are consistent. You can you can see results. You're gonna see results. Probably the biggest result you might see it in a month. But then once you see that, then you realize, oh wow, this is working. And you're just gonna have to keep showing up and showing up and showing up, and then next month you're gonna feel like, oh wow, my muscles are looking better. I'm losing weight, or I'm getting more tone, or my booty is growing. And so then that's the thing, right? That's the same with self growth. Is if you just do journal like 2 or 3 times a year, that's not gonna do it. You have to exercise your mind, you have to exercise your brain, you have to tickle your brain. So you have to do things that, not just journaling, but journaling, doing things that scares you, doing things that are out of your comfort zone, doing things that makes you uncomfortable, um, living your life. That's what's going to help you get in a better level and a better vibration. It's going to help you grow, and it's going to be uncomfortable because every growth in our lives, it doesn't happen when you're sitting comfortably in a spa. It's when you do something that it will break you, something that it will challenge you, something that it will get you out there, and it's gonna be uncomfortable as fuck, but it's gonna help you grow. That's the same thing, same logic with the gym. You're not gonna lose weight, you're not gonna grow your muscles if you're just sitting there like lifting 1 pound here and there like 3 4 times a year, even 3 4 times a month. It's not going to happen. The more you do it, the faster you see the results, the happier you feel with yourself, and that whole consistency is also going to help you to keep going. It's about discipline as well. So all these thoughts have been just going in my head, and I just want to share this with you because there's so many messages, right? Like staying consistent is still showing up. Do something that scares you. Do something that feels unfamiliar, uncomfortable. Get out there and just remember that sometimes our mind and our brain keep us limited because it's trying to keep us safe. Their job is not to show us the possibilities in this world. Their job is to keep us safe. So just remember that next time that you want to try something new or that an idea comes into your brain, um, before your mind or when your mind comes in and gives you these thoughts of like, but you're not good at that. What do you know about that? You don't know anything about that. Who do you think you are? You are not good enough for that. Just quiet those thoughts and remember that they are only talking about their experience, your past experiences they already passed. I believe that anything is possible. I'm learning that. I believe that if I want to do this and that, I can definitely go and do it. I just need to show up and be consistent. And I feel like that sometimes when we failed is that we just get disencouraged and we like we're super excited the first time, and then after that it's kind of like it starts dying, motivation. But that's why, one, motivation's not gonna take you too far, because when motivation's not there, then what are you gonna do? So you can't just do things out of motivation. You gotta do things out of discipline. So if you say you're gonna do something, even though you don't feel like it, because you are disciplined, you have to do it. And that's the thing, that you show up even when you don't want to, that you show up even when you don't feel like it, when you show up even when you're tired. You're still gonna show up. And discipline is the one that's gonna drive you far. So we are all here to learn. Nobody's perfect. Hope that this helps you to also not be so hard on yourself, because nobody's perfect. Not even the computers are perfect. They get stuck, or sometimes you have to reset and all this. It's just, even computers need that. So imagine us. Imagine us being so fragile and being human. Our body is amazing though. We are pretty strong, but we are fragile, and we are here in borrowed time. You are here to experience. So don't rob yourself from all these experiences that you can have. And I said that to myself. It's hard. It's hard. It really is. It's still scary. I do it scared. I do it scared, but I still do it. Sometimes I doubt myself a lot. I used to a lot more than now. And I realized that nobody was born and it was just an expert, right? Expert just is just a fancy word, I think, for someone that practice, and finally perfected that. But that doesn't mean they were perfect from to begin with. And even the perfect person, air quotes, they can still make a mistake. They can still fuck up. And there is so much more to learn, that that's what it would stop me too. Then it's like, oh well, I'm not an expert on that. Oh, I'm gonna look funny doing that. Or I don't know how to properly do that. But it's like, I don't think I don't think this other person also knows what it's doing. I realize that as I talk to my friends, they always say like, "Oh yeah, I just wing it." I was just, and I'm like, sometimes that's how it is. Sometimes it's just we are just so scared to go out there, and we are just so scared to look like a fool. But at this point, I'd rather look like a fool than regret not doing things. Because I can tell you this, if I die tomorrow, or if I say I get in a really bad car accident or something, and then I lose my legs or my arms, I will probably regret not dancing more. I'll probably regret not running more. I'll probably regret not going on a hike and just sitting on a couch, or I would regret a lot of stuff. And then I realized that I took my body for granted. So I feel like the more you think like that, the more you remind yourself that we are very fragile. We don't know what's going to happen. We are in borrowed time. But I think we forget, we really do forget how we are here in borrowed time, and we literally could just die tomorrow or today. So I laugh sometimes, because I'm just like, man, it's so crazy how we are so naive sometimes, or we just forget. Anyways, that's the message I have for you today. Just don't be scared to be yourself. Don't be scared to look like a fool. So what? We all were there in that state of being embarrassed and feeling a little scared. I feel like some of us are just like, accept that we might look like fools. We might look silly. We might just fail sometimes, but it's okay. It was just part of the experience. It's part of being human. It's part of being here. So, hell yeah. Just go out there, and who cares what they say, what they think. Just be happy and do you. Thank you for listening to this message from my inner voice aloud. Thank you for being here. If anything I share resonated with you, just know that you are not alone. I hope you can be here for my next adventure. Don't forget to get out of your comfort zone. And alright, stay messy, stay curious, Do something that scares you today, and don't forget to listen to your inner voice.